Indonesia's state budget deficit continued to move up to 4.16%. Help capital market industry, government gives reductions of corporate income tax and dividend income tax. Hello, good afternoon viewers in Indonesia and Singapore. Market Headlines is ready to provide you a number of informations from business, economic, and capital market sectors. With me, Claranta Wijaya, and this is Market Headlines. As state revenue realizations made the state budget deficit continue to move up to 4.16%. The government confirmed that the increasing state budget deficit was due to accelerated realizations of government spending.
The total state revenue until September 2020, or the third quarter, was recorded at 1,159 trillion rupiah, where this figure contracted by 13.7%. While the realization of state expenditure until September 2020 reached 1,841.1 trillion rupiah, with a growth of 15.5%. Until the end of September, central government spending was recorded at 1,211 trillion, and transfers to region and village funds 629.7 trillion. With minimum state revenue while spending continues to increase, then a surge in deficit is inevitable, which has reached 682.1 trillion or 68.2% of the state budget. But the Minister of Finance Sri Mulyani Indrawati explained that the high increase in the deficit realization in September was due to the accelerated increase in the realization of government spending.
Ya, ini 4,16% masih within skenario kita mengenai Perpres 72 yang memang melakukan counter cyclical. Jadi kalau pertanyaannya kenapa kenaikan cepat, ya karena kita belanjanya dipercepat, atau dalam hal ini bukan dipercepat, belanjanya dieksekusi oleh KL seperti sesuai yang tadi sudah saya sampaikan. Belanja negara itu tumbuhnya 15,5%, belanja pemerintah pusat 21,2%, transfer ke daerah naik 5,8%.
The Ministry of Finance noted that with the primary balance reaching negative 447.3 trillion rupiah, then the overall deficit reached 682.1 trillion or 4.16%. The deficit is still in line with the target in the 2020 at 6.34%. From Jakarta, Raharjo Patmo for IDX Channel.
The COVID-19 pandemic has had a huge impact on the tourism industry due to the resulting travel restrictions as well as slump in demand among travelers. And therefore, government keeps economic recovery in the tourism industry. One of the way by giving tourism discount worth 2.35 million rupiah for each person in 2021.
Latest data shows that a 65% drop in international tourist arrivals in the first 6 months of 2020. Even worse, the number goes larger as the COVID-19 pandemic still shows no sign of slowing down. Therefore, Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy plans to apply economic recovery by giving stimulus to the industry. For instance, in the near time, government will give tourism discount of 2.35 million rupiah for each person in 2021. The discount is a form of ministry's step to recover tourism industry. Government not only gives stimulus to these entrepreneurs, service providers, or tourist transportations, but also for the domestic tourists. Deputy Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy, Angela Tano Sudipjo, stated that the Ministry of Tourism is indeed optimizing domestic tourist visits to recover the drop in the foreign tourist arrivals.
Kami sebetulnya sudah menyiapkan program diskon pariwisata. Ini di mana gunanya untuk mendorong paket wisata, pembelian paket wisata domestik. Karena kita melihat memang isu selain tadi ya, isu fear factor orang untuk berpergian, salah satu isu sekarang ini adalah daya beli. Gitu. Jadi ini kita akan membuat program ini. Jadi tadi catatan dari Pak Sandi juga mengatakan jangan hanya hotel saja, jangan hanya transportasi saja. Nah ini nanti di dalam program ini betul nggak hanya hotel, nggak hanya transportasi, tapi berbagai produk wisata lainnya. Ini kita akan menjadikan paket di sini. Tentunya akan kerjasama dengan stakeholders.
In addition to the discount program, the government also prepares a grant of 3.3 trillion rupiah, of which 30% is given to the local governments to restore tourism in their area, while 70% is given to business actors to provide supporting health protocol infrastructure at tourism sites. From Jakarta, Muhammad Olga for IDX Channel.
Market headlines will be right back after this quick break.
Senang sekali saya David San Ovo dan dapat hadir menemani Anda dalam program spesial dialog webinar on TV.
Setiap minggunya kita akan membahas tema-tema yang sangat menarik. Apa kabar ibu-ibu sekalian?
Alhamdulillah baik.
Salah satu ambisi daripada Kementerian Koperasi dan UMKM bersama Smesco adalah koperasi keren, baru, digital gitu kan, yang kita bisa IT.
Welcome back to Market Headlines. Mining Industry Indonesia, or MIND, confirmed that the Indonesian state-owned enterprises will form a holding company to make batteries to power electric vehicles. To achieve this goal, CEO of MIND revealed that the partnership will be established with giant Chinese and Korean firms.
Indonesia, the world's biggest producer of nickel ore, a key component of electric vehicle batteries, want to build an integrated EV industry that will eventually include building the vehicles. The new venture, called Indonesia Battery Holding, would be formed by state miners MIND and Aneka Tambang, state utility company Perusahaan Listrik Negara, and state oil company Pertamina. CEO of MIND, Orias Mudak, said that the company would help build an industry that aimed to cover everything from producing chemicals and minerals for batteries to making the units themselves, as well as recycling old batteries. The company would create a partnership with Chinese and Korean firms on two projects valued at $12 billion. Orias said that state miner Aneka Tambang would also work on related EV battery projects, including high-pressure acid leaching, or HPAL, and rotary kiln electric furnace, or RKEF smelter projects valued to up to $3 billion. From all sources for IDX Channel.
Yes, viewers, before we talk further about Indonesia's government plan to develop electric battery factory, let's find out Indonesia's nickel productions compared to the other countries in the first graphic. Here it is through your screen. We can see a graphic of world's top nickel producers in the world. Here it is. We can see our country, Indonesia, with 800,000 nickels in 2019. And the next one is that our neighbor country, which is by 420,000 nickels in 2019, and Russia by 270,000 nickels, And we moving on to the European continent, we have New Caledonia by 220,000 nickels produced in 2019. And based on the data from the Geological Agency, Indonesia's nickel resources and reserves are still quite high, whereas of 2020, precisely on July, Indonesia's total nickel ore resource balance reached 11 billion tons with reserve of 4 billion tons. Meanwhile, the total resource of the nickel metal is 174 million tons with a total reserves of 68 million tons. The data was collected from 328 locations in Indonesia. And furthermore, in 2019, Indonesia's nickel matte productions amounted to 72,000 tons, ferronickel productions of 1.1 million tons, and nickel PIG iron as much as 781,000 tons. Meanwhile, related to Indonesia's high nickel resources, the Geological Agency revealed that the Central Sulawesi, South Sulawesi, and North Maluku are the 3 provinces with the largest nickel resources and reserves. And due to high nickel resource in Indonesia, who are the main players in industry? So let's find out the answer in the next graphic. Through your screen, we can see graphic of a market share of domestic nickel producers in Indonesia. Here it is, we can see the first place goes to Indonesia Morowali Industrial Park, over 50% of the proportion. And the next one is that, still in the double-digit portions, we got Vale Indonesia with a 22% of the proportion. And then next we got Virtue Dragon by 11%, we got Harita by 6%, and Aneka Tambang by 5% of the productions proportions. And we got other companies for 6% as well. And as you can see from the graphic as well, Indonesia's Morowali Industrial Park has shifted the positions of Aneka Tambang and Vale Indonesia in the nickel products market share in Indonesia in the last 4 years. And based on the data from the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, Indonesia Morowali Industrial Park controlled 50% of the downstream nickel productions in Indonesia in 2018. Whereas previously in 2014, Vale Indonesia still controlled the 77% nickel share market, while Antam controlled a market share of 19%. And the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources stated that Indonesia's downstream nickel industry is increasingly competitive and still promising, both for the development of stainless steel-based industries and also the battery industry. But unfortunately, until now, all products produced by the smelters in Indonesia are still in the intermediate products or semi-finished products. And based on the type of purity, nickel produced in Indonesia is still dominated by the second-class nickel, which produce ferronickel. Meanwhile, the first-class nickel portions to produce nickel matte and mixed hydroxide precipitate is still small. And in the midst of all these limitations, the Indonesian government is committed to continuously develop the domestic nickel industry, including the electric battery factory. To achieve this, the government has opened cooperations with various parties, including foreign parties. Clear information is in the next graphic. For your screen, first, we can assess domestic parties, which is Mining Industry Indonesia or Mine ID. We got the state-owned company of electricity. We got PLN and Pertamina. And for the foreign parties, we got Contemporary Amperex Technology. It's from China. This is a China firm that I mentioned before, and LG Chemical from South Korea. And both contributes to total investment value of $20 billion US dollar. Or if we can convert it into rupiah, it is around 265 trillion rupiah. And regarding this project, CEO of Mine ID, Aureas Petrus Modak, revealed that Mine ID and Antam will handle the upstream. Then the intermediate to the downstream products will be managed by Pertamina and PLN. The CEO of Mine ID added that the battery product from this project is primarily intended for electric vehicles and the storage of electrical energy, especially in complementing the use of the solar energy. Meantime, two foreign partners have expressed their interest. There are contemporary Amperex technology from China that I mentioned before, and then LG Chemical from the South Korea. And these two world-class companies will develop the nickel processing industry business into electric vehicle battery components. And for information, LG Chemical and contemporary Amperex technology are the two world's largest electric vehicle battery manufacturers and the battery suppliers for the best-selling electric car manufacturer, Tesla. And due to Indonesia's big ambitions and project plans to build an electric battery factory, who are currently the big players in the electric vehicles in the world. So is that possible that with this project, electric vehicle manufacturers are increasingly interested in and eyeing the Indonesia? So let's go to the next graphic for the answer. Through your screen, we can see the world's best-selling electric car manufacturer. Here it is. The first one goes to Tesla Motors Incorporated by selling 88,400 units. And then we got Renault by 39,355 units. And then we got Volkswagen by the 33,846 units. Hyundai from Korea by 24,116 units. And we got a Chinese manufacturer car producer, Bit Auto, by 18,834 units. And one of the best-selling electric car manufacturers, Tesla, is rumored to be one of the investors who will build an electric vehicle battery factory in Indonesia. The electric car manufacturer is being directed by the Indonesian government to build an electric car battery factory in an integrated industrial area Batang in central Java. The news or Tesla's plan was even confirmed by the Minister of the Industry, Agus Gumiwang Kertasasmita. And apart from developing the supply chain for the electric car batteries, Indonesia is also aggressively attracting foreign investors to build an electric car factory. It's not just an interest, even one of the world-class car manufacturers from South Korea, Hyundai, is currently building a car factory in Indonesia with a total investment of $1.5 billion. VP of Hyundai Motor Indonesia, VP of Asia Pacific Hyundai, Lee Kang-hyun, revealed that one of the reasons of Hyundai has the encourage to invest large funds in Indonesia. It is because Indonesia's large production capacity with more than 1 million units per year, or under Thailand with 2 million units. This also becomes a basis for Hyundai's belief that Indonesia has the potential to become a champion in electric car productions in Southeast Asia. And yes, viewers, we hope that a massive project can run smoothly, will not stop the halfway, and of course bring a bigger positive impact to our national economy. And then market headlines will be right back with a capital market and COVID-19 news coverage, so stay tuned.
IDX Channel, the Indonesia Stock Exchange channel, is the authorized capital market channel in Indonesia. To give references to global investors, IDX Channel also presented the news about the dynamic of Indonesia's economy, business, and capital market in English. IDX Channel also have different types of programs. They are Special Dialogue, Market Opening, Market Review, IDX First Session Closing, IDX Second Session Closing, Market Headlines, and News Screen. IDX Channel is aired 24 hours a day with 5 hours live program from Indonesia Stock Exchange trading floor. Our vision and mission as the only capital market TV channel in Indonesia that is committed to improve the capital market knowledge in the country. News that had been delivered on IDX Channel can also be seen on our digital platforms, so you can give yourself an update about informations anywhere and everywhere. IDX Channel can be watched through Vision Channel, First Media Channel, IndiHome Channel, and Vision Plus. and also live streaming on idxchannel.com. IDX Channel provides information from around the world from different perspectives. We provide you various investment strategies, stock options, inspiring figures for your business references. IDX Channel, your trustworthy economic, business, and capital market channel.
Yes, viewers, let's take a look at Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement. So earlier today, JCI was open at a level of 5,111.18, and then approaching the closing time of the first session, the index was on a level of 5,106.69, and then the index was showing weakening trend by the second session's closing time. The index was closed at a level of 5,099.84, and in short, JCI went down 0.52%. And next, we are going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. So rupiah opened at a level of 14,741, and rupiah was also showing weakening trends towards US dollar. I was closed at the level of 14,714. And in summary, rupiah went down 0.05%. And yes, viewers, COVID-19 Handling Task Force just launched a guidebook about behavior changing amidst COVID-19 pandemic. By this book launching, the task force hopes that the public compliance on health protocol can be higher.
Before there was a guidebook for behavior change amid COVID-19 pandemic, COVID-19 Handling Task Force assessed that people's perceptions on handling COVID-19 pandemic is different from one to another. Therefore, by this book launching, Task Force hopes that it can align perceptions. This guidebook also involves all parties, for instance, doctors, public health experts, as well as linguists and sociologists.
Di dalam buku pedoman perubahan perilaku ini sebenarnya kita menjelaskan apa sih perubahan perilaku yang diharapkan. Jadi perubahan perilaku yang diharapkan, kenapa perubahan perilaku itu diharapkan, apa dampaknya kalau perubahan perilaku itu terjadi, lalu kemudian juga apa prasyarat terjadinya perubahan perilaku dan seterusnya. Nah, perubahan perilaku yang kita harapkan jelas, kepatuhan total terhadap protokol kesehatan.
Sony hopes that the guidebook can increase the level of public awareness in compliance with the health protocol can increase. Jakarta, Gilang Praditya for IDX Channel.
And yes, viewers, as coronavirus pandemic takes a big role on current economic situations, here it is an update data about coronavirus globally. And a graphic close on market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX.
Halo, apa kabar Pak Eko?
Apa kabar?
Sehat?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Kabarnya?
Kabar baik, alhamdulillah. Senang banget bisa main-main ke salah satu gedung ikonik di Jakarta.
Iya. Terima kasih bisa mampir.
Terima kasih sudah diizinkan main-main. Pak Eko, ini saya ada beberapa hal yang ingin saya tanyakan.
Boleh.
Saya pengen pelajari soal RN ini, Pak.
Boleh. Boleh, yuk kita cari tempat yang lebih enak.
Baik,
buat ngobrol.
siap. Mari,
Yuk,
Pak.
yuk.